Welcome into HSN's newest segment, It's Debatable. With my co-host AJ Schub, I'm Lucas Mayer, and It's Debatable, we will have a guest judge every show. Today, it's HSN's own Cody Sharret.
Thanks for having me on this esteemed program, guys. It's giving me flashbacks of our trip to Penn State in November.
No problem. So on It's Debatable, we will be debating topics from all different sports, including IU athletics, and we're going to have some games that'll spice things up. So let's get it started.
And for the first topic in this episode, we're going to talk about which current IU player is the best fit to go into the NBA. And I'm going to have to go with maybe the player that you guys have seen the least of as viewers, and that's freshman Maurice Creek. Creek averaged 16.4 points per game as a freshman before he got hurt after 12 games. And had he kept up those numbers, he would have been one of the leading scorers in the league for a freshman. He also would have led IU in scoring, and I'm going to keep saying this, as a freshman. He would have gotten stronger in his 3 more years of playing time. He would have gained strength. He would have gained power. I mean, he's going to be a good NBA player. He has good size at 6'5", and I definitely trust my instinct that he's going to be the IU scorer in the NBA.
Well, you know, I think that's a real good point, AJ. But I'm going to go with someone who you might not necessarily expect. That's freshman Jordan Hulls. And the main reason I'm going to pick Jordan Hulls here is his leadership abilities. This is a freshman who is talking in the huddle. He's the only one talking besides Tom Crean. Who does he remind me of? Another unknown in college. That's Steve Nash, who came out of Santa Clara. Who thought he was going to be one of the best point guards in the NBA? Jordan hasn't shown much statistically yet, and he doesn't have the greatest athleticism, but he's 2-to-1 assist to turnover. He has extremely incredible court vision. He's fast, and he's an incredible ball handler. Wouldn't surprise me to see him make it.
Though you do see some glimpses of Steve Nash and Jordan Hulls games, he's a great outside shooter, and he also does a great job distributing the ball. I'm going to have to side with AJ on this one. I just think Maurice Creek is a player that does it all. He can shoot outside. We saw that in the Kentucky game. He can also drive the basket and get some rebounds with that 6'5" frame. So I think Maurice Creek, if he goes to the NBA, will be more likely to succeed.
Okay, so moving on now, we're going to do a segment, the best IU athlete as a professional player. And I'm going to go with Isaiah Thomas here. Isaiah Thomas did great things in the NBA. He was the number 2 draft pick by the Pistons, and he ended up playing 13 seasons for the Bad Boys. Look at these numbers in the NBA. 19 points, 9.3 assists, 3.6 rebounds, and 2 steals per game. That's a dominant force. Remember those back-to-back championships on the Pistons for the Bad Boys, and you can't forget that 88 finals against the Lakers when he played with a severely sprained ankle, still ended up with 25 points in 1 quarter, which stands as an NBA record. Now, Isaiah Thomas is a player that can change the game. He did. That's why I'm going to pick him.
All right, you know, Lucas, that's a great point if you're going to go and focus in on the big 3 sports in America, is in basketball, football, and baseball. But I'm going to go a little broader here, and I'm going to say IU's own Mark Spitz, the great Olympian. He won 7 gold medals in the 72 Olympics, which has only been surpassed recently by Michael Phelps' 8 gold medals in Beijing. He also won 2 gold medals in the 68 Olympics, and that puts him at 9 gold medals overall. And the only person that has more than 9 gold medals in an Olympics is Michael Phelps. You see the theme there. He also was elected into the International Swimming Hall of Fame in 1977. And this is a guy who retired from swimming at the age of 22. He was in his prime. He would have had 1 more Olympics to get more gold medals. And who knows how well he would have done. Also, just to throw it in, while at IU, he had 8 individual NCAA titles under legendary coach Doc Councilman.
Well, as the title of this segment, it's debatable. I mean, how do you compare Isaiah Thomas's 12 All-Star appearances and 2 NBA Finals championships with 7 gold medals? I mean, you really can't. It depends on who is debating it. I mean, an NBA fan would definitely say Thomas, but somebody that looks at all sports, especially Olympic sports, would say Mark Spitz. So I would definitely think it's debatable.
All right, and on to the final part of this segment. It's called Go Big or Go Home, and it's a fantasy-based segment. And since it's basketball season, we'll be talking fantasy basketball. And this is about who's going to do well for your fantasy team or fail for your fantasy team on the week of Monday, March 1st. And I'm going to go with, surprise, surprise, LeBron James to go big this week for your fantasy team. If you have LeBron James, be extremely happy, people, because this week he's playing the New York Knicks, the New Jersey Nets, the Detroit Pistons, and the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, out of these 4 teams, 3 of them are not in the playoff race. Milwaukee is 1 game under 500, but tied for the 8th seed. The other 3 teams are nowhere even close to 500, and the New Jersey Nets are on pace to have the worst record in NBA history. LeBron has gone 8-0 against these teams. Him and the Cavaliers have gone 8-0 against these teams this year. And the team defense totals are New Jersey ranks 30th in the NBA, Detroit ranks 29th, Milwaukee 22nd, and New York is the only team in the top 10 in defense, and they rank 9th. The point differential for these teams are New Jersey scoring 11.9 points less than their opponents, Detroit negative 4.5 points, Milwaukee negative 5 points, and New York negative 2.9 points. I mean, LeBron is going to go bananas this week, folks. Be happy if LeBron's on your fantasy team.
Well, you can never argue with LeBron James, but I'm going to go with a younger player and one of the best fantasy players so far this season. That's Kevin Durant. Look at these numbers. Kevin Durant. He is scoring 30 points. He has 7.5 rebounds, 3 assists, and 1.5 steals a game. And for all you that are worried about your 3-point shots, 38% from outside. Now look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're 20-8 in their last 28 games, playing great behind them. And Kevin Durant is approaching a Michael Jordan record. He has scored 25 points in the last 28 straight games. How's that for consistency? Now look at the teams he's going to face on that week. You have the Kings twice. They're the 27th ranked defense. The Nuggets, they're the 22nd ranked defense. And the Clippers, the 16th ranked defense. Durant's been doing it all season. He's going to continue to do it with his incredible athleticism, his great shooting. If you have Kevin Durant, you're winning this week.
Yeah, AJ, I hate to go against King James, but he does have better numbers as far as like rebounding and assists go. But what Kevin Durant has done recently, especially the last 28 games, scoring 25 points in 28 straight games, I mean, that's unheard of. So, and the Durantula, as they like to call him, has taken an Oklahoma City team that was the laughingstock of the NBA, and he's turned them into a playoff contender. I would be afraid of them if I were in the Western Conference playoffs.
And that's all the time we have for today. For Lucas Mayer, Cody Sharret, thank you for guest judging.
Hopefully I'll be on again sometime.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
I'm AJ Schub, and we're going to go back to Courtney, and we'll see you guys soon.